So I'm at the farm of Judy and Tom Burns outside of North Battlefort, or outside of Cochin in Saskatchewan, and that's his son John. Hi John.
Hi.
So he's 18 years old and he's going to inherit one day this 500 acre land, of which they're harvesting now, I think, half a section. So tell us, John, what are your plans?
Well, to kind of stay here and keep living off the land, because I see it's such a great location. Like we have the lake, Murray Lake, right beside our land, and being self-sufficient I see as the only kind of solution to the problems of all the like industrial food, and it's the only real solution you can do like right away, is just live off the land, grow your own food, and leave as little environmental impact as possible.
So why industrial agriculture do you think is going to be hurting us or bad for Canada?
Well, like you just look at the energy input versus the energy output, like the food output, and there, number one, you can see massive problems in it, having the putting so much in to get so little out. Whereas here, like we've got almost no fossil fuel inputs, which, well, then you're actually producing stuff. Whereas with modern agriculture, you're only converting energy forms in a very inefficient way. Like you're moving fossil fuels to food, and well, the conversion is what, 10 to 1, like 10 fossil fuel inputs to 1 food. So there's number one, that just can't work. Also, there's no labor. So you've got massive unemployment, massive all these issues, which again doesn't work. Whereas here, like we've got lots of labor, so you can live, and there's lots of livelihoods for people. Then there's the chemicals, which also just aren't good. Like basically, if it kills plants and other small organisms, it won't help us, being that we're basically organisms.
Right.
Just on a slightly bigger scale and more complex, but it'll still damage us.
Right.
And then it's just, the other reason is corporate control. That you need to have some control over your life. And if everything you do is patented, everything you eat, everything is owned by some other outfit, you have no control of life.
Fantastic. So how old are you, John?
18.
How come you know so much?
Well, I guess my family's been very involved in like political stuff and very involved in food issues, being that that's basically our livelihood, is food issues. I'm also very interested in, well, the science and all that kind of stuff. I read a lot, do a lot of stuff online, like look up a lot of stuff and read about all sorts of different interesting things. Yeah, it's just a subject that's always really interested me.
You are homeschooled?
Yeah, I've been
Fantastic.
homeschooled all my life, never been in school, and intend to keep it that way.
Fantastic. So you have a workshop or something?
Yeah, I have a small model machine shop, because I really enjoy machining, and as a small farmer, one of the most important things is being able to fix your equipment.
Correct.
Because we're running with older equipment, and it breaks down all the time. And yeah, fixing stuff is probably, in terms of environmentalism, is probably one of your best things. Because the longer you keep it running, the more you offset its production cost.
Correct.
And you can keep stuff running a long time if you know what you're doing, you have the proper tools.
And you can fix it.
And you can fix it. And you can take 2 broken things and get 1 running one.
Hey, that was smart.
I do a lot of that kind of stuff and want to continue on and kind of grow in the fabrication of equipment, like start actually building our own equipment, like new equipment, and designing equipment for the ever-changing thing of farming. Like what I love about farming is there's always a new challenge. There's always some new disease, some new something that you have to learn to cope with. And there always will be. These different new situations. The weather is always different,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're always learning. You never know everything.
Mm-hmm. So you're off the grid. You don't get electricity coming in from somewhere.
Yeah,
Or do you?
We're fully off the grid. Our electricity comes through solar panels, and then we have a couple generators for power tools and we need more power, which isn't very often actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've got.
So you get onto the internet through satellite or through dish?
Through dish, not satellite. It's LTE.
Mm-hmm. And it's run off that solar power.
Yes, it's run entirely off the solar power.
Fantastic.
Same with my computer and all lighting and that kind of stuff. Run off solar power. It's another way of self-sufficiency. It gives you control over your life. Like all our buildings we've built.
Huh?
You don't need to get the stuff like inspected or anything like that, so you can do it how you want it, not how the industries have dictated it should be done.
Uh-huh.
Which is usually the way that sells most of their products.
Right.
So it just gives you such a freedom out here, and I really love that.
So you don't hanker for the other life?
No, definitely not. Like, maybe it has its advantages, but it's got a lot of disadvantages.
So do you have a good community of friends among the nearby farmers or your neighbors?
We have very little connection with a lot of the nearby farmers.
Oh, I see.
There aren't many of them anymore.
Uh-huh.
We have a good connection with a few of them. But it's just, there's hardly any of them anymore.
There are only industrial farmers left.
Pretty much.
I see.
Like, there's a few, the cattle farmers are smaller and less industrialized around here, but all the grain farming, like all the land around here is being sold to investment companies and rented out to mega farmers where, like in the fall, 3 combines will show up and it'll just get done and there's no people around. There's no farmers. It's all like
contract laborers.
Yeah, it's all contract. So it's really sad to see the land being underutilized in the way of it could support people, but instead it's just supporting corporate greed. And we're trying to basically start a community here. We've got another family actually living out on this farm, and that has been really amazing because once you get more people, you can do so much more.
Of course.
And it's just amazing seeing what people's interests are and what evolves as happening on this place, which has pretty much limitless potential. It just needs people to realize it and labor.
So do you guys have any plan of utilizing the rest of the land which is not being farmed to some sort of a community building?
We're wanting to put it in some kind of a land trust because land ownership is a really difficult one because like the market value of our land is enormous, but we don't see our land as on the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to put it in some kind of trust so it doesn't have like somebody can own it and just sell it.
Yes.
But we don't really have enough people to do stuff with all that land. Like we rent it out as pasture, which is a lot better than agricultural, like than your grain and stuff. Like you got definitely a minimum of chemicals, like just hardly any. But like it's a matter of if more people come, the land's there, and it's something that can be utilized.
You have thought about it?
Definitely. Definitely, like thinking of what you do with all this land that like my parents got basically through inheritance. They inherited all this land, and then what you do with it.
For your own food or for selling some, you are already handling as much as you can, which is about 300 something acres, right?
Yeah.
You got almost more than 1,000 acres more.
Yeah, and we are not even handling all we have. We have a bunch of lakeshore that we could, really good pasture for cattle. We have a bunch of other land that isn't fenced and we just basically left on that land that we're using. So we could probably double our cattle quantity and we'd still be fine on just the land we have. So
for that also you would need more people to handle them.
Definitely. because we do all our butchering and stuff on farm.
Huh?
The less transportation and stuff the animal has to go through. Like, our animals never actually leave the farm.
Oh.
They're never trailered or any of that. So it's a lot of labor dealing with animals. Like, and you have to be there all the time. Like, the one thing with farming, especially cattle, and I think that people in this modern age are like all the fast travel and stuff, when you've got cows, you can't leave.
Yeah.
You're tied to the place, which I really enjoy, being tied to a place. Like, I think you should have some connection to a place, and I really have that here with the animals, with just the land.
I see. So you look forward to taking over this enterprise when your parents move on, and make it grow somehow.
Definitely try and, well, continue on what my parents have been doing for 30 years in trying to build a community, trying to get more stuff happening on this place. Like, community is always difficult because you're letting go of kind of my home, and you're inviting other people in, so things are going to change, but you've got to be open to that. That's part of the thing. You've got to kind of move away from society, like, because society is so based on kind of the private property and that kind of thing, and you've got to distance yourself. And even here, where we're so far distanced, society still has a pull. Like, there's still this thing there that it's deep in the society, and everybody has a bit of it, and you really have to kind of work against it and kind of balance yourself to get community.
Fantastic. It's remarkable to come out of an 18-year-old kid. So, do you have many more like yourself? Not many,
Not many that I've met.
You don't feel yourself being outnumbered or like an odd man out in your community, in your age group? You are connected by internet, right?
I'm connected by internet, but most of the people I know and most of my friends are older.
Oh, I see.
Like, there's a couple kids that I hang out with, but I never have been gone to school. You don't meet many kids because they're basically all stuck in school.
Right.
So when you don't, it really separates yourself.
So when you go to town and meet the kids, you don't feel that you can't hold your own. You can hold your own.
Oh, I definitely can. I feel that they can't hold their own, a lot of them. That, like, school it takes out your free will, basically.
Yeah, you are extremely articulate in describing what the problem has been with regard to agriculture, with corporatization and so on. So that's why I was asking. So tell me, which part of the farming do you take, and apart from fixing machines? How do you farm anything? Do you plant anything? Do you harvest?
I do all the big tractor work. So I do all the haying.
Oh,
which
what is haying for those who don't know?
It's the mowing. So you cut the grass down, and then we leave it sit for a day on the ground, and then we rake it up into a swath, and then we bale it.
Do you do it by hand or with machine?
With machines. It's fairly small machines. Like, we cut our mowers a 7-foot cut at a time. Our tractor's 60 horsepower old John Deere 820. So really old tractor, but runs forever. And then I do the summer fallow, so I cultivate the fields. Oh. And in the winter I water the animals. Which we water from the lake. We with a toboggan and pails.
Oh, I see.
In a hole in the ice, and you haul it just to the shore, and then water the animals.
Basically by muscle power.
Yeah. Fairly efficient power. And then I'm around and I build stuff, help fix stuff. There's always stuff to do. Always something to do, and whenever.
Fantastic. It was very nice talking to you, John.
Yeah.